but to accept the package that was destined to him. He loves every element of nature, and he has a special love for elephants. Nagaraj, apart from a performing artist, is an avid reader, writer, and has strong opinions regarding disability access and issues. We welcome you among our midst, Mr. Nagaraj.
And I am not used to public speaking, so I may read some from this, and occasionally again I may talk in Tamil. Tamil பேசினா பரவாயில்லையா நடுநடுல? Okay. The title makes it obvious that the narrator is a disabled person who is trying to enjoy experiences with nature, say, climb a mountain or deep into a forest. So when a disabled person is talking about these things, you may all guess that he will end up asking for some rights and access issues. We often talk about schools or offices or public places, railway stations, parks, where accessibility to people like me is glaringly inadequate. And I do realize that it is more important at the moment for any government or private enterprise to attend to these areas than concerning themselves in enabling us to have an adventure trip and all. We have to fight for basic needs. Only if these needs are satisfied, then we can ask for anything else. More than that, we can ask for rightfully ask for a place in the kind of activities that majority of you are in. So why are I here? Well, you know pretty well that the disabled have more pressing needs in other areas. Why am I here trying to record my observation with a bunch of nature enthusiasts? The only question that people like me are expected to ask are whether we get to live comfortably at home, if we get good food, user-friendly restrooms in our house, reachable shelves at home, and all that. No one experiences disability or being disabled or physically challenged when they are little as a child. This applies to almost all kinds of disability. Why do I say children do not experience disability early? Because the feeling of disability comes only when people are not able to move you around, or when there is no people to move you around. Only then we become aware of what we actually do. It took me 18 or 19 years to experience disability. The disabled person is carried around, and the places they have to go to are specific. There are two elementary things. It is mandatory that our houses have to be modified to suit our needs, or a near and dear one has to be there at our beck and call. Accessibility to public places has major issues. Say if I want to use the platform to go to some place, there will be a lamp post right in the middle of the platform. Or we will see some concrete slabs missing, creating broad pits without Angelina Jolie. When I talk of accessibility, I do not represent the people with power wheelchairs. I am referring to the ones that have to be pushed manually like this, or the most primitive one that you often happen to see in government hospitals or railway stations. Some people inherently have the spirit to fight disability and overcome it. They challenge it. There are two ways to win disability. One, knowing his or her limitations and then try to do something beyond the scope of things. When I was in 6th standard, I was studying in the CSI school. I actually joined there because they were running a hostel where there were 25 people with various kinds of disability. We had a hope that, oh, when I am there, people will take care and I will learn to do things on my own, and will have proper physiotherapists coming there and giving you proper exercises and make your constitution more and more fit enough to lead your life. Like that we were thinking. But what I experienced there was otherwise. The kids are compelled to live like others. Every Friday, they were made to carry a pail of water, biting the bucket and crawling on the floor, crawl on the sand and go water the gardens. This is not doing things on your own or learning how to lead your life, making things, getting done on your own and all that. But it was there. I could just not bring myself to do this. I did not want to crawl across the grounds, not because I realized that this could lead to a host of several issues. Will affect our bone structure, post-polio syndrome, which we may encounter after 40 years, and crawling with bare knee on the thick grains of stones and sand and all these things. Not because that I realized it may be affecting or anything. Because I felt it is, oh well, this place is dirty, I'm not used to it. I was like people, my brothers, everyone used to carry me wherever I want to go. I'm not used to be on the sand or be on the floor or any place like that. So, not because of realizing the ill effects of doing so, but because I was like, found it disgusting to drag my hands and legs across the dirty soil, which also contained like this materials, like which will affect and bring you boils on the knee. I just denied. Therefore, even if I face the situation, I would not recognize it as a challenge to my spirit. So do I really qualify to talk here about observing nature? There are so many people, like how Murugaves go, and you people are here who go for trek and associate yourself with nature, who are much more qualified physically and mentally than me to observe nature, to research about it and even preserve it for posterity. One may wonder if it is viable to have a disabled friendly road or toilets in a trekking zone, just for 2-3 people like me to come once in a blue moon and have an enjoyable trip. In today's materialistic world, a world where things are only made if they are sellable or profitable, will it make sense to have a special road for the likes of me? I have the hope that at least 10 of you from this audience will be able to ensure that these issues are addressed, spread, and a solution is found. I am here only to register these questions today, and I am not seeking any answer right now. So someday, after some years, few decades, when a whole new generation is considering these issues, they know these questions were asked and may be enabled access. Can there be a soul not enchanted by forest? Man, with his 6 senses, is always enticed by luring beings of lesser intelligence. Forests have always affected us in some way, either through a sense of fear or by evoking sense of mystery. With all of their secrets, they keep attracting us. Perhaps if I had born and raised in the urban settings of concrete thicket, the woods would have been a mere fancy novelty or even a figment of imagination. I would have sought it for a break from my mundane routine or a distraction sink to dump my garbage, junk, say in a restaurant. But to me, the jungles have always meant more. I was born in Gedde, told me a lot of stories because my father worked there in the TNEB in Kunda and Maya and all these places. அதனால அதை பற்றி கேட்டு அந்த இடத்துலயே வளர்ந்து எனக்கு அதை விட்டுட்டு வேற ஒரு இடத்துக்கு போற உடனே என்னமோ பிரிச்சு கொண்டு போய் எங்கேயோ போட்ட மாதிரி இருந்தது. And when I was like 3 years old, I was afflicted with polio, and therefore we needed to move to a warmer place because the cool regions are not friendly for Ilambillai Vadam polio. Adanala we moved to Attakati and later on we moved to Ero. நினைவில் காடுள்ள மிருகத்தை பழக்க முடியாது goes a Tamil adage. If the beast still remembers the forest, keeps the forest in mind always. You can't train it. Like that, the saying goes. I have grown up carrying memories of these refreshing scenes and the stories my parents had told me in my earlier days. However, I do not say this. I am unable to claim this aloud. Whenever a wild animal remembers its home, it tends to retreat to the roots immediately. I did not run back. I only try to interact with them if I come across or when I go past them and within the boundaries nature and men have set for me. Sometimes I delve a bit, while most of the times I only get to peep from the margins. சின்ன வயசுல நோட் புக்ல எல்லாம் ஸ்கூல் ஒர்க் எல்லாம் எழுதிட்டு இருந்தோம். அப்ப எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச இடம் வந்து இந்த மார்ஜின் தான். ஏன்னா you are compelled to write what you have to write here, the stuff. But in the margin it is always vacant. Only some numbers or alphabets like A, B, C, your numbering will come there. So most of the space will be vacant and I will draw pictures, write something. I love to do and be in the margin without realizing I am one too. I am very extremely fond of elephants and snakes. And to me, the elephants are an ambassador of the wilderness in our midst. In our temples we have two idols, the residing deity. One is the Moolavar and other is the Utsavar. The Moolavar is the one who stands or sits or reclines according to temple. And the Utsavar is the one which is taken for procession, idol procession around the temple. Like that, if one could look at the forest as a whole, as a temple, and all its wild beasts as the dwelling idols, the elephant stands out as the Utsava Murti. The main reason why the representative idol is brought along the street is for those people who are aged, who can't climb the steps in the temple, or for people who are disabled, cannot move. So similarly, the elephant comes out of its natural habitat and reminds us of the many wonders the forest holds with. Every time I watch an elephant on the streets, I have dearly wished to visit the animal in its own home. It is like the difference between watching your favorite movie star or any celebrity at their home and interact with them, their drawing room, having a cup of tea with them, like that, sitting on their couch. Because I had recently visited the Warner Brothers studios in LA, and the famous TV series Friends was shot, and I clicked a picture on the central sofa set. And many people inquired excitedly about the place and the experience of all the photos I have uploaded lately. Everyone was, man, you were there, sir, you were there. Like that, it creates or interest create panniyodu. I concur with the environmentalists when they say it is against animal rights to remove these gentle giants from their own homes and to coerce them into living a life unnatural for them through this domestication. Still, the elephant serves as an icon of the forest to us, keeping our intrigue and interest alive. It seems to be like a sacrifice these animals make to give mankind a reminder. Plus, they are always a delight to watch with the fanning ears and big giant belly running around like a shepherd. Those of us who cannot stand and walk live very close to the ground level. Our perspective of the world is very different. It's a very inherent desire for many of us to have a bird's eye view of things, say from the top of the building or from the top of a mountain. Look at the place, look at the place, look at it. I like being there because I am like this, always at the ground level, or my eye level will be always like this. Once there was my friend who visited me, and she was asking for a movie DVD, whether I have it or not. And what happened was, I was saying like, no, I don't think I have it. Then after some time we spoke something, then again she asked for the same. I said, I don't remember having this with me. Oh, okay. Then we spoke something else. Then again she asked, before she was about it. She asked me about the same thing. I said, hey, I told you, I don't have it. If I come across or if I get, I will message you. Like that it happened. And that evening I had a concert for which I got into my wheelchair, and from the wheelchair I am looking at the table, the same DVD is there. What would a friend of mine would have thought about me as if I am lying. But this is because we are in that level and see things and see the world. My mother has filled me with many wonderful stories about their life and experiences in those areas. அங்கே அந்த எது குந்தா அந்த இடத்த சுற்றியெல்லாம் ஒரு 14 ஹைட்ரோ பவர் பிளான்ஸ் டேம்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்காங்க. அப்பர் பவானி டேம் எல்லாம் ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸ். எமரால்ட், வென்மார்கன் எல்லாம். ஸோ அங்கேயே தான் எல்லாரும் சுற்றிட்டு இருக்கோம். அதனால் அதை பற்றியெல்லாம் நிறைய சொல்லியிருக்கேன். மை கிராண்ட்ஃபாதர் வாஸ் an avid gardener and he will be having my elder brother who was like 2 years old on his lap and sitting in the backyard of the house, which is the edge of the forest, and will be shaving the bamboo to make something like a fence or something. And wild elephants will be there very closer, and each of them respected, had a mutual respect for both, that they didn't disturb each other, but they did. Murugavel was saying that the elephants get wilder when they say wild. It happened to my father. With hearing that some elephant has come there and all that, my father and his 2 friends went there to see the elephant. The only thing they did was to see an elephant, unlike standing near the bus stop of Stella Maris or thing. They went fully dressed, white shirt, white vesti, full makeup, talayala marite. They went there, they stood like this, and they used to, the Kerala many, the vesti noni தூக்கி பிடிச்சிட்டு அப்படின்னு அதை கிட்ட அப்படின்னு பார்த்துட்டே இருந்திருக்காங்க. Some 2-3 minutes அதை துரத்த ஆரம்பிச்சு. அப்புறம் எல்லாரும் விழுந்து ஓடி முள்ளில் எல்லாம் பட்டு இன்னைக்கு அப்பாவுக்கு கொடையில காயம். சம்பவம் அந்த வெள்ளை வந்து ஒயிட் அஃபெக்ட்ஸ் எலிஃபண்ட். அது மாதிரி மசினகுடி, the place I have visited often, அங்க வந்து we had like a cottage like thing inside the forest. A friend of mine owns that. And the wild animals of the jungles would simply roam upon these areas in the night. And one issue I have spotted in all these reserve forests or sanctuaries, including Bandipur and Mudumalai, is this practice of taking visitors on rides. These are of 2 types. On a van where they take about 20 people to go on a peripheral round trip along the boundaries of the area. And sometimes we should feel, oh, we are lucky. This is an image from Mudumalai for a circular road. It is called, we went on a special, went with a special permission deep into the forest. We were taken in the van. அதில் என்னன்னா அங்கே எந்த விதமான ஒரு இதுவும் கிடையாது. ஒரு 70 பேர் சேர்ந்தாச்சுன்னா when 20 people are there, the man will start. No, the people never worry about whether they have really liking for nature, they have respect for nature, anything. But sometimes you will have 2-3 guys, maybe aged men or women, who will pray not to see or encounter any wild animal. கடவுளே, நான் போகிற வழியில் புலி, சிங்கம், யானை ஒன்றும் வரக்கூடாது, அப்படி எதுவும் வரலன்னா என் மச்சானுக்கு மொட்டை போடுறேன் அப்படின்னா வேண்டிட்டு they will come and their prayers will be answered many of the times. அது வெறும் சும்மா ஒரு வேனில் ஒரு ரவுண்டு குழந்தைங்களாம் போயிட்டு வர மாதிரி போயிட்டு வரதான் இருக்கும். அது மாதிரி. And there was this postmaster, this is the place in Mudumalai where I went to the place inside the forest called the CM Tower. And the higher officials, when they visit, they take them to this tower which has some 60 steps there, and there is a down thing going with this, and there is a creek you find there where a mountain ends and the other starts growing up from there. There is a creek. And அதில் கீழே இறங்கினா கொஞ்சம் தூரம் கழிச்சு அதில் ஒரு பால்கனி மாதிரி ஒரு இடம் இருக்கு, வியூ பாயிண்ட். Since I went with all my nephews, brothers, they managed to pull me, take me down in my wheelchair, and I went there and for 15 kilometers inside the forest up to this place. We went there and been there for 1.5 hours or 2 hours. அங்கே 70 புள்ளி இருக்கு சார், எப்படி ஏதாவது ஒன்றா தண்ணி குடிக்க வரும் வாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கூட்டிகிட்டு போனாங்க. அதை போய் பார்த்தேன். அப்புறம் நைட் ரைட்ஸ் முதுமலையில் போகும்போது அங்கே சிங்காரா டு த ரைட், when you go from முதுமலை டு மசனகுடி and மாயா டு த லெஃப்ட், அங்கெல்லாம் அப்பா ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அதனால அங்கே போஸ்ட் மாஸ்டர் வெள்ளான்னு இருந்தார். he took us for the night ride. அந்த ராத்திரியில் the road gets warmer than the inside of the forest because of the vehicular traffic. So animals come to the roadside. ராத்திரி ஆச்சுன்னா இதமாக இருக்கணும்னு எல்லாம் ரோடு போகுது. அதில் போய் இது when I went to top side and the places were really nice, but the thing is they have steps without handrails, and we cannot climb up to there. And even if we climb on the steps for the elephant will be too much height and wooden planks will be there. அது shaky-ஆ தான் இருக்கும், tied with cords and all that. We can't easily get on. Or it's a bad idea if somebody lifts us without pulling our hands. It will create a lot of pain and after effects. So I just been there at the place and was watching the elephant going into the forest and coming out. We spotted a huge tusker along the roadside. I felt as if I am standing in front of Periyakovil, the big temple of Tanjore. But it was like just some 6 or 5 feet away from us. And this is the CM Tower. Suddenly when we were with the elephant, some 2-3 guys, there came a jeep, and I think they are local drivers who bring people for night seeing. They drove the jeep so fast and stopped right in front of the elephant, like banging with huge or powerful headlamps, and they propagated the animal and they went. So the elephant came, it climbed to the road and it was just on the middle. These guys were in the car just in front of that and we were behind, and without even caring for us, the local drivers did like that and went away. Only thing what they want is to, like he said, Murugavel said, they want to propagate the animal and do something and make some thrilling effort. And I had been to this place, Nebraska, last year. It's a place where you can see tornadoes and all that. Even I saw one tornado forming there and it lost momentum, and there was this place called Zorinsky Lake. Do you have a picture of Zorinsky Lake? The place around the lake is painted exclusively for joggers, cyclists and the like. When they said lake, I thought it was going to be like the ones we have here. I need to just sit in the car and look at the lake and all that, but it was very different. This particular place had a ramp which gave me access to go into the lake, and there was a pier, And you know what? I enjoyed the peer pressure. And the waters were dancing in waves, of course not like the waters of the flowing river or the sea, but I could actually feel the waters of the lake with my own feet sitting there. Just because I was provided access. This is the Zoritsky lake. And normally people do, what they do, when they are in a place closer to their heart, they do what they love. I sang rhythmic composition sitting there. Any other photos of Zoritsky lake you have? No? Not right now. I have been into a sea also in VGP. After seeing the warning board reading beware of powerful waves, I decided to go into that and sat when the water was to my neck level and enjoyed the feeling there. And stop. All efforts fail to pacify. One lender of the last resort, one can give it a try, it will start pretending to cry louder than the child. Like this, when you go to sea, carrying waves and tides of thoughts in your mind, the sea tries to pacify you, resonating along with your mind and calm you down completely. That's why we love the sea, but we don't have access. Previously, many years ago, I used the horse to take me there near the shore, and now even where the time when I was little, but I can't try it now. Huge guy on horse. And I had been to Portland in July, and it was a beautiful summer in USA. The first thing that I sighted from the aircraft as I flew into Oregon was this incredible snow cap, Mount Polamaa, the Mount Cook. Not this, the Mount Cook. Want me to do that? It was like snow cap, aerial view, and I just wanted to fly in and out again and again, just to have the view. And I have been to this place, Crater Lake. The lake is a remnant of 400,000-year-old Mount Mazama, which erupted into a volcano 7,700 years ago and cooled down for centuries, and it took 200 years for the 5 by 6 miles across lake to be seen as it is now. In 1853, John Wesley Hillman discovered this lake and named it Deep Blue Lake. You can show the pictures of it. The highest peak situated in the shores of this lake is 918 feet, and we were told that the lake is deeper than 1949 feet. You have to see it to believe it. To say in plain words, it is breathtakingly beautiful. The color of it, the copper sulphate blue, like you can see in the pictures. Keep like the neck of the peacock. You see the water in that color there only. And it's a delight to watch it during sunset or sunrise. The changing colors of this blue and orange and this green and everything. There is also a rim ride for the 33 miles with various viewpoints, and they are not changing. And what I found there was there were 9 trails and 2 of them were handicapped receptors. I went in one trail with this manually operated wheelchair and went in like, no, this is the Golden Gate Bridge. If there has to be one tiger in the forest, then there should be a proportionate number of deer, say 500. Similarly, for one disabled person to become an enthusiast or a guy who loves trekking or a bird watcher or a wildlife photographer, hundreds of us should have access, and one out of them may emerge great. இத்தனை பேர் இந்த ஒலிம்பிக்ல இத்தனை பேர் ஓடுறது எதுக்குன்னா அந்த ஒருத்தன் தங்கப்பதக்கம் வாங்குறதுலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி அதுல for the sake of that one who emerges great, the public and private enterprises separately or together should enable access for the handicapped in the many wonderful sanctuaries and national parks across the country. Thousands might visit, of which 10 will desire to become one among you, and one will achieve through his hard work, turning out to be an asset to the society. And when I say observing nature from behind a fence, it is an invisible fence that I am talking about, which is why it is more worrisome. We always fear the unknown enemy more than the known devils. What many of us face on everyday basis is the unknown, unsaid obstacles and impediments. I am not asking anyone to redeem us by destroying the fence, but to make an effort to bring the height down. Therefore, you people please do go ahead and have your slice of happiness, but please do check along the way if you can bring down the fence little by little, like a rock being eroded by river streams. So one day, even if we are not able to step, we can at least look beyond the fence. But the restaurant, once I searched for your wheelchair access restaurant, அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அந்த burb.com search பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தேன். I kept on searching, and it was very too difficult to find. And I also sent them a message like, sir, what is the procedure to find a restaurant in wheelchair access? அப்படின்னு அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு மெயில் கூட நான் வந்து அனுப்பிச்சிருந்தேன். இன்னைக்கும் இப்போ வரைக்கும் பதில் வரல. ஆனா ஒரு ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்டை பத்தி சொல்ற போது அது பார் அட்டாச்சு, அதுல வந்து வைஃபை இருக்கு, அதுல இது இருக்கு, அது இருக்கு, அதுல பால் ரூம் இருக்கு, அதுல வந்து கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் ஹால் இருக்கு, அப்படிலாம் இட் இஸ் பீங் மார்க்டு. அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க எந்த இடத்துக்கு போனாலும் அட்லீஸ்ட் அங்கே கொஞ்சம் ஃபிளாட் ராக் இருக்கு, நீங்க வந்து சமாளிக்கலாம். அங்க இவ்வளவு தூரம் உள்ள போகலாம். நாங்கெல்லாம் ஒரு 10 kilometers போனோம், ஒரு 3 kilometers we can meet people, but the disabled can enter up to this point. அந்த மாதிரி about places if you mark, then we will be also like enjoying those places, opening new avenues to visit and have a nice time. And I think the time is up. I know I have plenty of experiences to share with all these jungle visits and all that, which I will do hopefully next time, next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nagaraj. I request Mr. Ranindran to give away the memento and the sapling to Mr. Nagaraj. I request the owners of the following car numbers to please move their cars. Skoda Laura B8629, I20 6042, Ford Fiesta 7081. Thank you. We have our next speaker for the day, Sarah. Sarah has already presented in season 3 of Trek Polamaa. Season 4 of Trek Polamaa, and he took us by awe through his documentaries. I remember our people just couldn't get enough of his documentaries. Sarah, as he's lovingly called, freelances as a wildlife and documentary cameraman, shooting documentaries for channels like National Geographic and the BBC. When not traveling on assignments, he loves to get back to his still photography. Whenever he finds time, he tries to conduct workshops, especially for beginners. All his